There I am. Good morning, story trading VIPs. How you doing? Thank God things are slowing down a little bit. A little less to go over today. It was crazy hectic with earnings the last week or two. So today, let's just quickly look at indices. As I've been saying last couple of days, I don't really care about that too much anymore. At least in the next few weeks. You can see they're down a little bit. Not a big deal. Maybe this is related to Pelosi going to Taiwan. But whatever it does, look, this can pull back to the 20 DMA. I'm not going to be worried in terms of my swing positions. Okay, we're for the time being out of that panic liquidation kind of phase, and our swing trades, I think, are going to be in good shape. So, not worried about that. Let's talk about individual stocks. Last night on the Wolf Spaces show, we pretty much came in tied for first place on our stock picking show from last week with Clearfield. We had Clearfield and IPI. They did excellent. I sold IPI Friday and yesterday, and good thing I did because Mosaic and CF had earnings which did not delight the market here last night and this morning. So that's going to weigh on IPI. So, in any case, what were the new picks for the Wolf Spaces show last week? The new picks from our community, Trade of the Week picks, Celsius and SIGA. So, real quick, you guys all know the story on Celsius, the news yesterday. I just think the news was enough for a multi-day or maybe even a multi-week run. I think it justifies completing this cup here and getting back to prior 52-week highs. After all, their peer here, Monster Beverage, they're already, that's MicroStrategy. Where's Monster? Their peer here, Monster Energy, Monster Beverage, is already up there at the 52-week high. So it's rebounded everything. So why wouldn't Celsius deserve to be back at the high or then some because of this new Pepsi investment? Also, this pattern, very, very similar to the CLFD pattern, which we won on last week. It was this cup formation and actually did a cup without handle breakout. So I think testing 110 is inevitable. Does it happen in the next few days or the next couple weeks? I don't know. My bet is it happens within the next few days, testing the 110. And once it tests that 110, the question is it going to pull back and create a handle, or is it just going to break out of that cup at 110 and maybe go to 120 or 130? So that's going to be the story of Celsius, Trade of the Week idea. SIGA, I went through this extensively in our weekly meetup last night. Earnings are Thursday. I'm in this not because of the monkeypox is added premium because of sentiment, but the fundamental story here is smallpox. Earnings are Thursday. They've been getting a lot of revenue, hand over fist, doing smallpox sales for their drug. And it's been coming also in for monkeypox. They've been using that money to buy back shares, to do dividends, no debt, very healthy balance sheet. So I think this one can run again, but it can definitely come back and retract to that 20 DMA first before Thursday. That's a possibility, the 1550 to 16 area. But I'm hopeful that we will regain $20 plus and take it from there. Now, when a stock goes up like this, I rarely play it with common shares. I'm selling put options on this as it rises, and that's been working out for me, a much safer way of doing it. That's the story of Ziga. I want to know, last night on the panel, Wolf Spaces panel, one of the panelists who I respect very much, Andrew Sullivan, I believe it is, chose AEHR for his trade of the week. And I was very happy to do that. Detailed discussion ensued because of my deep knowledge of AIR. He really, really likes the technicals here. Obviously, he likes the numbers and the earnings have been reported. So that was his trade of the week, and maybe it'll hold this 200 period moving average on the 5-minute chart here, a little under 12. And perhaps we can try testing that 200 DMA at 13 plus again. Now, last night, there was a very smart observation by someone in our group that AIR last year, all their contracts started kicking in August, September, October. And that's when it went on that huge ride from 250 to 25. So these contracts they've been promising by May of next year. Are they going to kick in August, September, October this year? Could be. Maybe there's a sales cycle there that kicks in this time of the year. This is when the contracts are signed potentially. So AEHR, something to keep a close eye on. CLFD, as I said, we pretty much tied on that competition. Now, there was some commentary from other people on the panel yesterday, and they really, really like the technicals on this. I think it's going to keep on going. So it looked like it found support after only a small pullback yesterday. $95, possibly a support level here, and perhaps we'll go off to the races. Last night, we shared some analyst reports in our community, three separate analyst reports with the revised price targets on CLFD. I guess the average price target probably around 105, but they have been sandbagging all the way up. And our colleague in the community, Chris Harbert, thinks that this could be a $150 to $160 stock here in the next 6 to 12 months or so. So definitely still holding position of that. Wanted to point out a couple stocks here, LICF and SMR. Both of these we've talked about in the past rather extensively. Now, these stocks have been on the run, and we didn't exactly know the reason why. Last night, we found the reason why. SMR, it's not in the newsfeed, okay? But there was a statement by the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Agency that basically gave their approval, their blessing in terms of safety for SMR, small modular reactors, that they have the green light to go build these in the United States now, and said their designs are completely safe, but basically meet the safety standards. And the stock has been running since that came out. So the timing of that makes sense. This move makes sense that it's because of that statement from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Agency. So that's the reason for the SMR moving up. I haven't sold any yet. I'm up 33% on that. I'm going to be holding that for the time being. And then LIACF, this one's been on a tear from this point here, July 17th, July 18th. And if you look at the newsfeed, from $1.25 to $1.75. So this stock, by the way, it's a lithium and uranium miner. Actually, this one was presented by my father as a Trade of the Week idea, and we've been keeping tabs on it ever since he presented it. But they had news here July 14th, which we didn't talk about, but last night we talked about it, and a very, very positive bullish news by a lithium expert in our community. And that's the reason why the stock basically bottomed out here right on July 14th and has been going up ever since. I have a small position in this, and yep, I wrote a note here that I might want to increase my position in LICF. Also, these three stocks, actually, SMR, thinking about it, maybe on a pullback, I might increase my position. AEHR, it's getting a pullback now. Maybe I'll increase my position on that pullback. We'll see. All right, a couple other items of note. GAIA had earnings last night. Seems like there was like bullish sentiment within our community on GAIA. Now, I don't love GAIA personally, even though it was a stock that I had presented last year. I quickly sold it a couple weeks later and withdrew my endorsement for it. But a lot of people in our community like the fundamentals. I think the EV to EBITDA ratio is about 4.5 based on last night's earnings. But you can see here that B. Riley has a hold rating on this, and they cut the price target from $5 to $4. I don't think that's going to inspire too much buying right now. But we're asking around. We're going to see what the bull thesis is. And if it fits within our 4 pillars of story trading, we'll do a little bit of vetting if someone wants to step up to the plate. And if it fits into those 4 pillars, perhaps we'll have a presentation and reintroduce this as a VIP pick at some point. But, I don't have any strong opinions on it right now. With that report, you can go ahead and take a look at it. You can see the top line here. It doesn't look great. Penny EPS, 20.7 million, missing 22.25 million. But apparently underneath the hood, it's better results than what the headlines are saying, is what we're hearing from people in our community who are more fundamental investors. So that's the story with GAIA. VTSI has earnings after the close today. So this is going to be important. This is going to be a big one. This is the Q4 earnings report. We're 3 quarters behind. So for me, what's going to be important is forward-looking commentary on Q1, Q2. I hope they provide that. I hope they give numbers or hint very strongly at what the numbers might be for Q1 and Q2 in terms of at least revenue. If we get a event anticipation run here to like towards 550 or more, I will definitely be aggressive on selling call options on my trading shares. I do have a nice core position of long-term shares. I'm not trading. I'm not selling call options on, but my trading shares actually started selling some yesterday because my trading shares I got in at $4.75 and a rather large position. So I started selling a little bit yesterday, and I'll be interested in selling covered calls if this pops, and maybe I'll even sell some shares if we get into the 530, 540, 550 range today, which I think is a possibility. Particularly towards the end of the day, because it's very thin. All it's going to take is a couple players to come in and say they want to position in before earnings. Couple other things of note: Square has earnings on Thursday. Block, I hate that name. So they have earnings on Thursday. I have a small position. It's been trying to spark a conversation on that, see what people think. I put an article from Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha earnings preview article came out this morning, which I shared within the community. I'm not sure that I'm going to hold this through earnings. If I do, it'll be a small position, even smaller than I have now, but something worth keeping an eye on. We had a great conversation on PLAB last night in our VIP weekly meetup, and I'm not going to go through the details here. That's for VIPs. The recording's available for them. But based on that, I'm going to be holding on to my shares, and I have a good-sized position on this. So I have a lot on the table here, and I'm going to be holding onto my shares into earnings. I'm going to take that risk based on the commentary last night. Earnings are expected to be announced yet, but that's just an estimate based on those algos that are looking at previous earnings dates. So that's the story with PLAB. We're monitoring SMSI 282 resistance level. If it can break that 282, I think we can see a quick move to $3. So that's potentially on the table with SMSI. We're still waiting for news on DRIO, but at this point, I'm not really waiting for news. I'm waiting for the earnings because it's too close to earnings. I think we could get an announcement of when the earnings are going to be anytime, any day should be coming, maybe this week. So that's the story. Don't got too much else going on. SIGA, White House appoints monkeypox coordinator as response ramps up. So that's interesting. Waiter Holdings, partners with New Orleans Saints for exclusive in-stadium mobile ordering. That's interesting because they got the a stadium out in New York Metro the other day for that. Waiter, soon to be known as ASAP. That's the same one. So Waiter Holding. Let me check how that's doing here. You can see Waiter Holdings getting a little pop there. The chart has been very strong since bottoming out since 15 cents. SIGA, when did this come out? 9/12, monkeypox coordinator. So you can see here, SIGA flat right this morning. All right, that's all we got. Let's see anything with the major indices. I'm not worried about it. I think Pelosi's landing in Taiwan in like an hour or so, and probably we might see a rally after she lands, I would think. A little bit of nonsense. People are worried about nothing. I don't think anything's going to happen there. So to wrap it up, the main things on my agenda today is VTSI, going to be looking for some volume volatility and that to take advantage of potentially as we prepare for earnings. AIR, I'm going to keep a close eye on, may buy some on the pullback. LIACF, I don't know. I'll look into it. Maybe I'll add more based on the conversation last night. And SMR, we'll be watching that. Maybe we'll get a big breakout. Look at that, 1570 already, 1567. This one's hot. I don't know that we'll get a pullback for me to add more. Just got to hold what I got, and maybe we'll get a meme move out of this because that's been happening a lot. Man, there's some crazy crap shit going on with stocks up 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000%. These meme and Reddit traders are targeting these low flow plays, and they're just going. IPOs, de-SPACs, lots of crazy stuff going on. Not my area of expertise, so we're not participating in that. We're watching it, but maybe one of those moves will come to SMR because that's a recent de-SPAC with the low float. So, guys, everyone have a good day. We'll continue monitoring all the news as they happen, especially VTSI earnings after the close. If you want to become a VIP and get these in real time, you can listen to the replays through 12 p.m. Eastern, at which point it's going to be completely unlisted. as it prepares for public publication at 4 p.m. Eastern. Our VIPs have exclusive access from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. each day of this show. Thank you very much. Have a great day.